All right, so this is a skit that was on Saturday Night Live last night. I can't show it because of copyright strikes. Basically, a guy coming home for the holidays, thinking about his old childhood friend, gets in contact with them, finds out he's kind of crazy, kind of like a conspiracy theorist. They get in touch with each other, and he finds out his friend's like kind of crazy, got all these things going on. They make him seem like a conspiracy theorist, and then they show.
You sent a thumbs up to that?
What was I supposed to say?
Anyway, can't wait to hang. I have so much to tell
He has so much to tell them, and they show this board.
you about.
Fluoride in the water. Pointing to the all-seeing eye. Fake news gets more likes. Woke media. Planned cover-up. Those are chemtrails. And the best one of all, right next to it, round Earth or fisheye lens.
Can't wait to hang. I have so much to tell you about.
And they got Hillary on there. UFOs up there. Chemtrails. Drain the swamp.
Hang. I have so much to tell you about.
Yep.
Pick you up.
Always mocking.
What's your problem?
Deeper or a little farther, it's
conditionally true.
It's conditionally
Correct.
true.
Because they know it's flat. Because can't you see? Take a coin. The head side is a different side from the tail side. And yet the two are inseparable.
Yeah.
That's right. There are no absolute truths.
Right.
That's right.
Of course, it's really expensive to get video of telescopes in space.
Yeah.
That's right. There are no absolute truths.
Right.
That's right.
And there was much rejoicing.
It was very close.
Circumnavigation is really just a flat circle path. Gravity as we know it simply doesn't exist.
The sailor thinks that he's traveling around the Earth this way, when in effect he's traveling around the Earth this way. And he's creating a circle. He's moving in a continuous direction around. He goes through the various parts of the circle, and he comes back where he started from, swung around this way.
One of heliocentrists' favorite supposed proofs of their ball Earth theory.
Dude, people waste so much time. I tweet back in all caps, no, he doesn't.
Okay.
You have a tub of Jell-O there, and we're Jell-O.
Oh, we're Jell-O. Absolutely.
All right, I wrote this rap this morning. This is the kind of mood I'm in. Okay. Check it. What's up, TikTok? Tom Green here. We know the earth is flat. I'm unreal like birds. Yes, we know the earth is flat. I'm unreal like birds. Yeah, yeah. That's a lot of words. We know the earth is flat. I'm unreal like birds. Shit. So, yeah. They say we never landed on the moon. What you gonna do now that I'm singing in tune? I don't make promises, remain anonymous. Surprise you in danger, I'm a hippopotamus. And to my haters, chin, Sagittarius with an abacus, feeding radishes to the savages, still bleeding, fresh out of bandages. My delicious cheese sandwiches, Michael Landon's kids eating cabbages at the little house on the prairie. Scary, like Boba Fett talking on a Blackberry, a Joan Jett rocking out to Nina Cherry. It's ironic. I'm iconic, classic.
Hey, it's me. Hi, it's me. Really.
1, 2.
Sweet dreams are made of the
Have you given any consideration whatsoever to the flat Earth movement?
Haha, works for them. Sure.
Talk about, first of all, the Earth's not flat. You know what I mean? Except for I can't say that from my own experience. I guess I have flown in an airplane, and I mean I don't know if I've ever been high enough to see the curvature of the Earth. Have you? Does it? Can you really see it? I mean, I feel like you can.
I have no clue.
So I don't want to, I don't want to say anything, but Bryce Mitchell is 100% set that the Earth is flat. Here we got a comment. I'm flat Earth. I'm just wondering, what's the official line on why the water doesn't spill over the side? Bryce says, 200-foot tall ice wall, brother. Look up the pic there on Google. Antarctica ain't a continent. It's an ice wall that surrounds us, brother. That's why it's illegal to travel to Antarctica. There is no South Pole. So, a lot of people think I don't like Bryce Mitchell, but the truth is I want to be Bryce Mitchell. I got 6 chickens and a tortoise.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, what do you think about the Earth being flat? What's your opinion?
I don't even really have an opinion. I feel like it's just...
I'll tell you this. I listened to an Audible book on Audible, and it was about like going to the moon and the astronauts, and it was like the actual communications, and it was really interesting. I listened to it a while ago, but I'm like, I mean, those guys could have been actors, you know what I mean? They could have been completely fake. It's just like, I don't know.
I feel like I just have to go to space, see for myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna believe whatever scientists say.
Yeah.
So it might be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can't go to Antarctica.
Right.
You know
You
what I
could
mean?
think that for sure. I'm founded at the start of this. I mean, we were talking about flat Earth, tortoises. I don't even know.
Paper sign. Really, nobody gets it automatically. Even I don't. I do the commercials.
On the schoolroom maps.
Bill Harkeby. Yes, my world map is so old it still shows the Earth is flat. But
Now we gotta find a way to straighten the world up.
But how?
But I discovered that the people who love are what we need if we get above it all. And that's that, unless the world is flat.
People don't want to know what the truth is because they could never, ever handle it. They would be too devastated.
Did people go to the moon or not?
Moon landing was faked. True?
That's correct.
On the moon? We were faking it.
And a It's stuff.
You misrepresented myself? Away from me.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
I mean, that paints a picture. 50.
You said that,
Okay.
I didn't.
At any point, were you afraid at all when you were up there?
No point in worrying about something that hadn't happened yet. Some people are, and we need them. They're called explorers.
But you're an explorer.
Well, yeah, I'm...
Explorer of numbers, circles.
Very surface with little things sticking up, sand, real fine. But it wasn't flat like it had been washed up. Fairly flat like it had been washed up.
You has heard about the moon and about space. You better learn about these things from my man Buzz Lightyear here. So you better realize that these things is important.
The only limit...
On low Earth orbit.
A set of proof flights will test and prove the systems required for
Sand, real fine. But it wasn't flat like it had been washed up.
I think it's quite stunning. There should be an area as big as that unexplored.
America in space.
Flat Earth, 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 flat Earth.
With horror, anger,
flat Earth, 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 flat Earth,
and grief. Ready to loot, rob, attack, and menace. Chaos are the mission at hand. Already been arrested and charged with murder. State and federal authorities are carrying out an investigation to see what further charges may be warranted, including against, sadly, the other three.
flat Earth, 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 flat Earth.
The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
A charming boy, darling. Why don't you forget all this? I'll set you up with a nice little Fiat agency over in West Barcelona.
I stopped paying attention to that boy when he said the world was flat.
That stuff is flat.
The world is flat. The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat. The world is flat. The Earth is flat.
Try to show people.
Have you heard the flat earther people?
It works.
Empathy. You get inside the character. You can see this guy desperately trying to make sense out of things and trying to push out what he's trying to say to people who really aren't listening and who are dismissing him.
Then I didn't have it because I couldn't take it long. A big disagreement. We've had them before.
Of the Earth that none of us has ever seen. It's flat as a board, of course. Anybody who denies that there's something wrong with them. Rueful fact. Many we polluted under polluted skies, but they all rise in the east, they all set in the west. And then in the daytime we do something else. They somehow do. This is the geocentric. Can draw this conclusion, but I think it's clear because think about it. We do not only that, what other animal? We, moon, son of the moon, what other animals? The moon. Whereas the moon, but absolutely straightforward observational facts that every person can verify for him or herself. We also are vulnerable to this siren song, which we can call chauvinism or geocentrism or anthropocentrism. What other animal? So, knew that this was dangerous stuff. This book is for mathematicians. If you're not a mathematician, close the book. The Bible says the Earth is at the center. We all believe that. And then, as you know, Galileo, of Copernicus, what other animal? But the stage had been set. I think there's a lot of evidence that we are all geocentrists about our language. Sunrise. I was up before sunrise. Sunset. It was a gorgeous sunset. But the sun isn't rising or setting. The earth is turning. Occult the sun. Billy's gone before you're halfway through. Americans do not know the Copernican perspective gets a lot of press in the United States. I mean, there is NASA. We do. There are. We do here. Do here. And in China, you can see where there isn't a NASA and where the television programs are much less sophisticated. Still think, in their heart of hearts, that the Earth is as flat as a board, of course. And we're obviously not moving. It's an observed fact.
Is the Earth flat?
You strike me as quite a practical person. You're a pilot. I mean, you deal with.
No, we actually have to do something. Really? Because I was reading some stuff on the flat Earth that made a lot of sense. Have you looked into it? Which one? I was reading a lot of stuff on the flat Earth. Okay, yeah. True. That's true? Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. All right, God bless, brother. All right, have a good one.
Question to ask. Flat or a ball? Feels like flat or a ball?
Flat, not a ball. I think it's flat.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty flat to me.
It certainly does, doesn't it? And you.
I'm a fellow, just PPL, pilot here.
Yeah, nice.
I got a couple of serious questions to ask you.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there's a big time. Curvature.
Curvature?
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't allow for curvature, do we?
For anything, not for you usually. Yeah.
No, we're round. We're a disc, aren't we? Round and flat.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, look, honestly, quite seriously.
Yeah.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah.
System called the Apollo Extravehicular Mobility Unit. The system is one of several spacesuit designs being developed for the needs of...
Baby, over there, go! Oh, honey, truth or bust. Baby, over there, go! Come on with me, truth or bust. Baby, over there, go!
White House, don't have flight. The Harvard House up and ready. Ocean. That's really unusual. Those connect up and stay back down. Why would they do this? The airline company takes the shortest route.
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it. People are in love with that ball.
My new national space recognized. We may even have a space force.
Oh my goodness, that the struggling in Japan. Tuna. I get tuna.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The signed several agencies working on rocketry and flight to create one civilian agency, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, to prepare for human flight. Pansy named Ham Base.
To the moon and to the moon. This nation should commit itself towards something that would be positive and would show that we
can do the other things.
By
they are hard. They are hard. They are hard.
Step at a time, 3 times, or Gemini 3. The program
0G and I feel fine.
By
they are hard.
Its larger capsule carries 2 astronauts. Mercury veteran Gus Grissom.
They are hard.
Gemini 4. Ed White opens the hatch and steps out into the void as America's first spacewalker.
I feel like $1 million. I'm a good guy.
Extravehicular activity.
You don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
EVA, in NASA speak, is critical to a moon mission.
They are hard.
Now ready to shoot for the moon. But there are just 3 years left to meet President Kennedy's goal. His goal.
Exhausted would cause this huge inferno on the lunar surface. What were the radiation problems on the moon from the sun? What were the thermal conditions you had to deal with?
They are hard.
1966, moon landing program, bars and simulators for a dress rehearsal.
Now we gotta get the moon. We can't talk between 2 or 3 buildings.
Are heard.
Oh, let's go far in the cold trip.
We're driven back by the intense heat and the smoke.
The loss of Grissom, White, and Chaffee momentarily cripples NASA's moon landing program. But as the 3 astronauts are given heroes' burials, Apollo, like another mythological figure, Phoenix, begins its rise from the ashes. Following
an accident review
was a disaster with Apollo 1, turned out because the spacecraft itself was a...
It's also the first time live television shows Earthbound humans what it's like to be in space.
Follow room. High atop everything.
The Soviets may be closing in on the moon.
They are hard.
And the ladybug was getting thrashed.
Earth's gravity. Lovell marvels at never-seen-before sights.
I can see the entire Earth now out of the center window. I can see Florida, Cuba, Central America.
Christmas Eve Day, 1968. With the moon dwarfing the nearing spacecraft, Commander Borman fires the main moon. The world watches in awe, but none more so than the 3 men.
We're the first time 3 people saw the Earth from 240,000 miles away. So, in a high point.
It's a grand oasis of the big vastness of space.
Crew ends its Christmas Eve broadcast with a special message for moon landing. The lunar module, still being built, is overweight.
And main things you had to figure out was that you had to have a rocket on the lunar surface, and the rocket didn't work.
Significant limitation. Apollo 8 before it will only orbit the moon as John Young watches from his command module, Charlie Brown, Commander Snoopy.
Doing backup maneuvers to the attitudes, and if they couldn't do the maneuvers, I would do the maneuvers, and their vehicle blew up or something to come back without them. Up maneuvers to the attitudes, and if they couldn't do the maneuvers, I would do the maneuvers.
Within 9 miles of the moon at the site NASA has selected for the first touchdown, 3,700 miles an hour.
Roger, you're weaving your way up the freeway.
I saw the lunar horizon problem because we were switching computers to check out a little backup computer we had.
Finally, as in the comics, Snoopy returns to his master, Charlie Brown. Apollo 11 spacecraft. Command module pilot Buzz 16, 1969. Moon fever is rampant.
Gosh, this is almost, I can't believe that somebody's going to go to the moon.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 9, 10, 10, 10.
9:32 a.m.
10,
And 3 miles away, spectators feel the thunderous drumbeat of unearthly power pounding their chests as the heat of the rocket's exhaust washes over them.
When that rumble came across the ground, it was like somebody was putting their hands on your chest. And so unbelievable.
For 3 days, the crew of Apollo 11 cruises towards the moon. Come the first humans on the moon.
Surgeon, go. Capcom, we're go for landing. Eagle Houston, you're go for landing, over.
But the landing veers from the planned script.
Exposed to the surface here, which has got layering within it. It's been weathered away, apparently, and no more.
Great adventure.
Even though I don't know how many others will. I don't know how many other people will like it either. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it in the sense that you're talking about. And yet I had to see it again. I saw it the first time and I said, I hate this film. Then it wouldn't leave my mind. And for 3 or 4 weeks after I saw a preview, I thought there was something about this film that I'm not relating to. And I went back to see it again. I admired it more the second time. I think that what I was resisting was the fact that it is so cold. That's right. So cynical. It does not deliver on an entertainment level. It doesn't have any of the payoffs that we want from a kidnap picture. It is an idea picture, and on that basis, it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting. I liked it at the entertainment level. I mean, there are scenes in there that made me laugh. Afraid that that's the difficulty of this picture, to appreciate it, is that there's no one that's very likable in it. But obviously, the point of the film is that television is affecting everybody. Here's another thing. Life, you know, he's been this Italian-American from New York, and the films are always a riot of action and movement and music. Big music. And energy and passion. In this film, it's the music in that last scene is just, and the cold, isolated atmosphere of that waiting room sets the tone for the whole film. That's obviously what he sees is going on. We're going from lively music in his early films, rock and roll, to music. So in a way, the more I'm turned off, in a way, the better the film is working. That's the way it worked for me. Yeah.
Oh, now surely this is the right spot. Look at this. This area is filled with books about pretend people.
That's right, Grover. This is the fiction section. Fiction means it's a made-up story. 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 Fiction means it's a made-up story.
Fiction means it's a made-up story.
Some sunshine.
Fiction means it's a made-up story. Fiction means it's a made-up story.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
No.
No? What'd you see while we were up there?
This is the blue sky, white clouds.
Yeah, is it flat or?
Pretty flat.
Pretty flat?
Yeah.
Heat shield set.
Perseverance is now slowed to subsonic and subsequently the priming of the landing engines. Our current velocity is about 90 meters per second at an altitude of 4.2 kilometers.
We're getting signals from MRO. Tango Delta.
Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the signs of past life.
So, when I was a kid, if you called someone a flat earther, round. Round like a ball. North Pole at the center, and Antarctica all around the outside of the plate to keep us from falling off. And this idea is really, if you'll forgive me, getting around.
And then we kicked its ass.
Flat world.
Do it.
Is the Earth flat?
Told you the Earth was flat. What?
The Earth is flat.
So what did you do?
Though we were running a bit low on fuel.
Contact light.
As I mentioned, we just returned from the Oval Office, and so it is my honor, on behalf of the President of the United States, to announce that henceforth, the men and women of the United States Space Force will be known as Guardians.
Really, if you'll forgive me.
And the Earth flat.
Every day, look into it. Go flat, you never go back. Ladder. Back, ladder. Look into it.
Act. We're all unpaid actors in some giant script that we didn't write.
About the flat Earth.
It's always flat.
3. Researchers a flat disk.
The Earth is really flat. Come on, guys.
It's got the word is flat on his forehead.
Flat Earth.
Do you believe the Earth is flat?
Ooh.
You going in the pool table is the Earth. That's why it's green.
Oh, see, your shit is coming out now.
And the world, they used to think it was flat.
Prove the Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
Clearly is flat.
Whether it's the Earth is flat, whether
Earth is flat.
2016. The Earth is flat.
World being flat, right?
Well, basically flat.
It seems flat to me.
Neil, you suck. What does that mean?
we got is flat, and the world is flat, the world is flat, and the world is flat. And if the world was flat, and here's why, the world is flat. And
Debate whether the Earth is flat. Whether the Earth is flat. Flat.
Center of the universe, many of those same people believe the Earth is flat, like a tortilla. They're called flat earthers, and they have conventions and talks and
Firmly believes that the Earth is flat.
Once you go flat, you never go back.
once you go flat, there's no going back. The plan of attack is stick to the facts. The whole thing will fall when we give up the ball and prove that the Earth isn't moving at all.
When I was about 33 in the woods.
And then it falls down instead of getting away. But they didn't do the rest of the movie that way. If they had stayed with that one idea, and in a guy who's less than perfect, in other words, make it very rousing and exciting, but he screws up, you could have had a running gag there that would have built throughout the whole film and been very, very funny. They forgot their own script.
I'm your host, your personal astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse. Oh, yeah.
MD Grinbart on Twitter. Do you think there is a flat planet in the universe?
Oh. Let me say it louder. Carl Sagan. Carl was.
And now for our feature presentation.
Coming soon to theaters. Now in theaters. Coming soon to own on video cassette. Now available to own on video cassette.
Shortly after I was admitted, I got a letter in the mail from Carl Sagan. I said, "Mom and Dad, look, is this real? Is this?" He met me in the snow. Well, it was cold, it wasn't snowing yet. Outside of the lab, he took me into the lab. This was on a Saturday, by the way. Sat down, he gave me a tour, talked to me about my ambitions and what he did, reached behind him, pulled out, it was one of his books. We were done, the afternoon came. It was in the winter, like late winter. He drives me in his car back to the bus station. It begins to snow. He's worried whether the bus will come through. He writes on a piece of paper his home phone number. If the bus doesn't come through, give me a call, spend the night at our place. I was already admitted, so they were just trying to drum up interest from one department to another. I think they did that with various applications if they had sort of extra interest expressed. And as mine certainly did, because I've been interested in the universe since age 9. In the Hayden Planetarium. So I To this day,
Yeah.
if they have vowed, when students come to my office, I get to reach behind my desk and pull out a book. It's kind of,
Yeah.
then I will be no less respectful of students who express an interest in the universe. And to this day, that's what I do.
Yeah.
If you call me and you're like the president of the museum or somebody important in Washington, but a student calls me up, I handle the student first. I'll get to you later. And ignite flames and promote interests. That's a sensitivity that I don't know that I would have had were it not for that encounter.
Yeah.
That's why you eat food. You get buried.
Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Which is how I want my body to be disposed of. Bury me. Bury me. Because you know why? I don't want the energy content of my body to just get radiated out into space of no use to anybody. Put me in the ground. Let the worms, microbes come in and out of my body. And that's how I want to go out. You know what I want on my tombstone? My sister has this in her notes, because in case I can't tell anyone after I die. On my tombstone, be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity. That's what I want on my tombstone. My first encounter with Carl, and students and teachers again, and colleagues, and it just kept going and going. Exaggeration is allowed. You don't have to be completely truthful. To this day, it was the greatest performance I had ever seen.
Here we are. All right, everybody clam up.
But I didn't pee on the moon. I peed in my pants.
What, do you want to homogenize him so he looks like any other person in a boardroom? What would that be?
They're club again. Question. You know, I envy you. I wish I could go back and do it for the first time, all over again. So yours hasn't started yet?
No, not yet. That was one of the questions I had for you.
Yeah, I gotta go. Night, Ted.
M-Day Greenbald on the Larry King.
Oh, by the way, as they say, to be a genius is to be misunderstood, not to be a genius. Just want to make that clear, okay?
MD Greenbald on Twitter. Do you think there is a flat planet in the universe?
Let me say it louder. Let me say it louder. Work in a factory, and so you take vacations from that to get a break. You retire so you have some retirement income to not do this anymore. But suppose what it is you do is your first love.
Took over Russia. Answer, gun control. And there's a lot of people in this country who want to do the same thing to us here in a kind of conspiracy, see?
You want to know what it is? What it's all about? John, chapter 9, verse 25.
I haven't been to Sunday school in a long time.
Whereas once I was blind, now I can see. Good night, Nicholas. Best of luck.
Where's the curve? Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Where's the curve? Tell him. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Where's the curve? Earth is flat.
Let me say it louder.
Your Coca-Cola bottling company congratulates the lunar astronauts. There is, however, just one little thing you should know about.
4 LEDs are off.
All 4 LEDs off.
For both of you on your DCMs, demate your SCU, install the DCM cover, and stow the SCU in the pouch.
The crew members going through some final steps before they get out the door. Just to update you, the spacewalk has officially started. That start time coming at 6:24 a.m. Central, 7:24 a.m. Eastern, while the station was just a little under 250 statute miles just to the north of Indonesia.
Here's boy bands, here's Mackers, here's Britney, here's Cola, here's pizza, here's TV, here's some rock, and some roller. Watch commercials, more commercials, watch Jerry, not Oprah. Buy a better life from the comfort of your sofa. Here's popcorn, here's magazines, here's milkshake, here's blue jeans, here's padded bars, here's armpit wax, here's football shirt, here's baseball cap, here's live talk show, here's video game, here's Cola Light, here's Tim Morning, here's filter tips, here's collagen lips, here's all night malls, here's plastic.
Again, we use that term nominal. That essentially just means that we're within the expected and appropriate range where we should be. So that all that means is that everything means that we're within the expected and appropriate range where we should be. So that all that means is that everything is going according to plan.
International Space Station switching from older nickel hydrogen batteries to new lithium ion ones.
Because it looks that way.
There's human presence in low Earth orbit.
Because it looks that way.
This unique orbiting laboratory.
Right. We accomplished so much this year. What do you see for 2020?
Well, I would like to say that you're going to see more of the same.
Because it looks that way.
How astronauts measure items on station, a place where scales don't work.
Space is a huge benefit.
Because it looks that way.
Just a few degrees for now.
Because it looks that way.
Engines ignition, liftoff, flying through the densest part of the atmosphere.
Because it looks that way.
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant...
Because it looks that way. Because it looks that way.
Vehicle supersonic.
Means that we're within the expected and appropriate range where we should be. So that all that means is that everything is
the year of the metal rat.
Because it looks that way.
There's a pose for you right there.
Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go.
The kinds of technologies that we're testing going beyond low Earth orbit.
Beyond low Earth orbit.
Oh yeah, I can do that one.
Because it looks that way. The Earth is flat. So, but could I be wrong? Could I be misinterpreting the nature of my perceptions? We have misinterpreted our perceptions before. We used to think the Earth is flat. We used to think the Earth is flat. Think the Earth is flat in that desktop. We used to think that the Earth is flat because it looks that way. Then we thought that the Earth is the unmoving center of reality because it looks that way. That reality will end up turning out to be more fascinating and unexpected than we'd ever imagined, because it looks that way.
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists. More must be done by the internet companies to counter threat. But the difficulty is to do this without sacrificing freedom and privacy. The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful. But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
Earth has to be a flat disk.
Correct.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Fine.
So,
and you're saying, do that, and stuff. Think about it. If we are ants on a sheet of paper, living only within that two-dimensional flat world, and two-dimensional universe. So describe it. Yet to a higher dimensional being, it's clear and obvious what's going on. Don't get me started. See what you did there. Stuff. 3D world. They'd be like paper people, right? They would be flat completely. Let me make sure we're all on the same page. Of course we are, but just to confirm it, space, it's a $300 billion industry worldwide. NASA is actually a tiny percent of that. Interesting how small a percent NASA is to the total world spending of space. That little bit, however, is what inspires dreams. Probably not even thinking about the fins of the V2 rocket. They're probably not even thinking about it, all right? And if it's there, maybe it's just not in their frontal lobe. But our cars had fins. The rocket in every science fiction story told in the 1950s. Just go back, rent any movie on Netflix from that era, their rockets got fins. Fins on the Bel Air and on the 57 Chevy, they're all gone. Oh, so maybe the designer just felt, oh, it's played itself out. Or maybe deep down inside, space was operating on their creativity. Okay. These are all Band-Aids, people. They're Band-Aids. Here's what we got to do. Dig up the designers of those cars, and they'll say, well, fins just kind of look cool. They're probably not even thinking about the fins of the V2 rocket. NASA as the economy. It's the economy, stupid. That's the phrase. Comes in contact with the atmosphere, he burns up. It's like, no, just the act of coming through the atmosphere doesn't burn you up. And when you do that, by the way, the government has to come first. The government, the space frontier, but I'm going to answer a question you haven't asked yet. I don't know if it's there, but I get it asked all the time. Will space entrepreneurs lead the frontier in space rather than NASA? The answer is no. That cannot happen. It will not happen. Because space is expensive, it is dangerous, the risks are unquantified. You put all three of those together, you can't say, okay, who's in? Drawn. The trade winds are established. You learn that there aren't demons at the edge of the earth that will eat your ships. In the 60s, low Earth orbit was a frontier for the nation. It is not a frontier anymore. So sure, let private enterprise have at it, provided NASA still gets to go someplace beyond.
They lied today, they're trying to resurrect it again.
No reason why that cannot be resurrected once again.
At the border, I've always maintained this. Down on our southwest border where we're building the wall, would we be doing this if those were white people?
No.
And we got to go back to 9/11 again.
For 42 years, NASA's longest running space mission has finally sent a signal back to Earth.
All a scam. It's a scam from top to bottom. All a scam. It's a scam from top to bottom.
The value of the commerce it empowers. When you add that up, it's $1 trillion. You would want the military to protect your assets.
All a scam. It's a scam from top to bottom.
So it's not a stretch to say it's time for a space force. or clean up the debris that's there. Well, so let me take you back 30,000 years. If you were in the cave, here we are in the cave, and and you said, gee, I wonder what's on the other side of that mountain or across the valley. And I said to you, no, we have cave problems here first. Got to solve the cave problems, then you can go outside the cave. That would sound a little weird looking back on it.
Well, there are still people out there who don't believe in science. Why do some people distrust it?
Yeah, I don't know. People, or better marketing, I don't know. Not what nature is. But then there's the rise of the flat earthers. Like, who ordered that? You know, where did they come from? And so there are factions out there. They found
are stuck in ignorance. They prefer ignorance because ignorance can be comfortable. They don't want to learn new things. They don't want to expand themselves. It's a shame because science is, to me, the most important thing that man ever deals with. And, you know, we need to face it right now because we got a president who's trying to turn us into the planet Venus.
The next user says, scientists disagree with each other on many facts, but we rarely see a debate between two scientists who disagree. Also, many times scientists are on the payroll of companies that want them to advocate for their products. So the least we can do is be cautious.
And I agree with that.
Sort of flattened circle. Why aren't they some other shape? And he said, you know, I don't know. There are enough water molecules to scatter into every other possible cup that someone can consume in the world. Give it time, it'll scatter to the rest of the world. This means that for every cup of water you drink, it very likely has molecules of water that pass through the kidneys of Genghis Khan, of Jesus. Things like this are mind-boggling simply because it's hard for us to even understand how small these particles are and how prevalent they are around the world. So these are two of the greatest challenges that the... Exactly.
Plus,
Elon Musk, my gosh, why is everyone getting all on his case? If he wants to get high on a Joe Rogan podcast, and you let him be the individual that he is.
All next on Larry King Now.
I don't know. I don't know. If I don't know, I'm going to say I don't know. That I know. I'm going to say I don't know. We got top people working on it.
Before we talk about the book, you recently tweeted, sometimes I wonder if the natural state of an electorate is to be lied to by people in power because believing lies almost always feels better than believing truth. Why?
Why else would you lie to someone unless you don't want them to react negatively to the truth, right? If everything would be fine by telling the truth, we would all tell the truth. So the motivation for lying is to lessen the consequences of people having learned the truth.
Right.
So now you try to build a government, a system, an electorate, a civilization, and if lies percolate up into that which is spoken by people who are your leaders, then you have a house of cards in your society. And there are things that are built in society that actually have no foundation because you got there by lying. So yeah, I wonder and I worry, and this is an interesting psychological problem. It's an issue with us as a species. Why is it that we want to be told a general statement? I don't implicate elected leaders, for anything because they're elected. So as an educator, what concerns me...
Neil deGrasse Tyson details his new book on the alliance.
My name is Jim Lovell, I'm an astronaut man. On a lonely horse I ride around the earth in an old tin can with a spaceman by my side. Before you know it, we'll be out on the moon, being all heroic, well that's just what we do. When we were riding along when we heard a big bang, Houston gave a shout. They said, look out the wind, there will be an old tin can. You got oxygen spilling out. You got a couple of hours till you run out of gas and then you patch it up. What a pain in the ass, he said, Jim, you gotta get us out of this. We know you're not prepared for this. You gotta do some rocket surgery to recreate the atmosphere. But I am getting out of here tomorrow, Apollo 13. My name is Jim Lovell, I'm a regular guy. I don't ask for no special thanks. I'm just an ordinary hero in a certain light. I look a little like Tom Hanks. My co-pilot Jack Swigert sometimes gets mistaken for the Hollywood actor Kevin Bacon, but I think there's at least 6 degrees of separation. But anyways, there's this big old oxygen leak that wants to have us dead. And I was hired as a pilot, it's what I'm gonna do, but Houston wants something else instead. They say, I am plastic cup with a piece of spring, pour some liquid paper over everything, plug that hole with a big fun ball. Listen up, Houston, I got news for you all. I did not sign up for this. I'm getting quite fed up with this. You got me doing rocket surgery to recreate the atmosphere. But I am getting out of here tomorrow, Apollo 13. Apollo 11, 8, 9, and 10 all went without a hitch. I didn't train for 14 years to be an astronaut, just to end up someone's bitch. That's how we lost the moon. I did not sign up for this. Forgive me if I'm sounding pissed. They got me doing bucket surgery to recreate the atmosphere. But I am getting out of here tomorrow.